We had an 80th birthday party for um, Grandpa Jim, my father, and most of his children and grandchildren and great grandchildren had gathered together in Island Park, Idaho.
It was our turn to make something, the boys, and so we divided into a couple teams, like 3 or 4 maybe, and then after that we put a bunch of ingredients on a table, and then we took turns picking different things off of the table, and then we went and we had to make a dessert in a Dutch oven.
It was really fun because we all had to like work together with just kind of whatever we had, and it wasn't like a planned thing. It was just do whatever we can thing.
We had a whole range of people of all ages, and everybody got to participate and kind of work together to create our dessert. We all just had to figure out something to put it together into an edible format. Everybody would at least somewhat be enjoyable as a dessert. So, anyways, we kind of got together and divided up, and I don't remember exactly which food items we had. There's maybe some whipped cream in there, some phyllo bread, and chocolate and pudding or something. I can't remember all of it, but we had to come up with something so that and then bake it over a Dutch oven in a fire, and then Grandpa Jim judged the competition once it was all done.
I liked kind of seeing how other people did that. So yeah, it was really fun. And also, since it was like a Dutch oven thing, we could only see the top until we cut it in. So a lot of them were like layered things, and it was really cool to see like mixed ingredients and stuff, just like working with what we had. So another thing that we do is we go on like camping trips together, even if they aren't like really far. They're like just fun camping trips that we can all go on and hang out at. It's really fun to have like marshmallows and s'mores there, and like other Dutch oven dinners, and just hanging out with cousins. And so we're all pretty good friends. All the cousins, we all know each other, and we all hang out a lot. And yeah, but it's really fun how we can like come together and eat food and talk and just have a good time.
The lavender tea party kind of started when we found this beautiful antique silver tea set on KSL. And that was sort of where our addiction started, of finding beautiful old dishes that had this unique charm. And we went to a handful of estate sales and found even more dishes, and pretty soon we had a collection and decided this would be a really fun opportunity to put together a photo shoot for Grandma Joyce's blog, but also just a fun chance for us to create something beautiful together. And so we started brainstorming. We actually created a Pinterest board so that we could share ideas and some details that we liked and things that we could go off of for the photo shoot. And I think my favorite part about it was that even though not all of us have the same skills as Grandma Joyce to be able to create delicious tasting food, we all sort of have an interest in beautiful things. And we have an appreciation for that ability to create a beautiful spread. And so, like, for example, my sort of expertise, I would say, is more along the lines of floral design. And so I went to the floral wholesaler and picked up some greenery and some filler flowers to contribute to the photo shoot. My sister-in-law, Cami, is an amazing photographer, and so she sort of became the chief photographer for the project. And all together, we sort of found recipes and little treats that we could make for the photo shoot that would be fun for all of us to make. And it was just fun to see how we all sort of used our different skills and abilities to put together something beautiful that looked nice and that was pleasing to the eye and also really good to eat, but also just fun to spend time together and to create that memory together.
So the reason I like to cook is my dad, he has always been like the cook of our family, and I just love to help him cook, and it's always been just really fun for me.
Well, Diane was quite busy with her graduate work and studies and things like that, and I hadn't gotten a job and I wasn't able to start school yet, so I had a lot of free time on my hands, and so I just figured Erin's busy, I'll take that upon myself to make sure that the meals are taken care of so that she doesn't have to worry about it. And I don't think we ever really talked about roles, like you're going to be taking care of laundry and you're going to be taking care of, and I'm going to do this or whatever. We just kind of organically worked together most of the time. But I took it upon myself to make sure that meals were done, in part because I knew she was so busy, and meal planning was not something that she enjoyed very much. So I think that's probably where I kind of came into it on my own, is just really wanting to create meals as we were starting a family together, and I really learned then that I enjoyed it and I was having a good time. I think that was probably right about the time where I discovered the America's Test Kitchen. And they test it. They find as many variations on the recipe as they can find. And then they go through a process of doing it over and over and over again. Somebody else has done all that hard work for me and created the perfect recipe, so that I'm confident that when I at least attempt to recreate it or follow the recipe, it's going to come out well. These are a knockoff recipe of Levain cookies. So
How much do you
those
need,
are the
Dad?
best cookies I've ever had in my entire life. If you're ever in New York, look them up and go. They're great. These are 3-ounce cookie balls, cookie bomb, I don't know what you call that. The way they make them is twice that size, so theirs are 6 ounces. That's a little too much cookie, so we're going to cut them in half and go with 3 ounces, but that's why we're measuring them out here, so they're pretty close to perfect size. I enjoy that part, having that affirmation of having created something through a meal. But I also feel a strong affirmation just in myself when I create a meal. And when I try it and eat it for myself, I know that I've done something that I like. So it's not always for other people, it's for me too. But I do really feel that connection with having people gathering around food and gathering around food that I've created.